for both teams are going to be read in just a moment.
Ricochet. Get balls into the goal for points.
Alright, so your lineups are Gambit, Tonga, Infection, and Noplex for Impulse. AJ, Taze, Silva, and T-Rich for Notorious. That is your lineup for tonight's matches. Alright, so what we're doing right now is we are waiting for T-Rich to join us, so that way he does not, well, in theory, does not full host over the neutral host right now, because his host is just a little bit too strong. So we got Tuna calling for Notorious, and Doge indeed. Alright, so we are just, again, waiting for T-Rich to join, and then we will be underway, and somehow AJ already has 5 points. I don't want to think about that too hard right now. Neutral host is Saints. I don't even know what's going on. Alright, let me turn so I can actually see the TV. Oh, thank you guys. First touch. Yes. Can't believe I forgot that. Alright, so this is the lovely court. Oh, good. T-Rich is here and is with us. Everybody's getting lined up and ready to go. So I am seeing from Impulse's perspective, so I'll be able to call out their names pretty well tonight, and hopefully. So the ball has been cast, and as soon as it resets, the game will start. And we are underway with, or will be underway in about 2 seconds, with the AGLA Summer League 2014 Pro Circuit. Woo! Here we go, opening tip-off. Gambit got there very, very quickly, and he grabs the ball for Impulse right off the tip, passes it over to Infection, who is being lead tanked by, that is Noplex with the Jake Tag. Epic lunge on Infection, and he goes down, the ball is free. Gambit trying to get there, the ball's being bounced around like a pinball, and it is Infection who comes with, yeah, there we go, has the ball, I don't know, I think he dropped it at some point, pass it back, gets stuck on the wall hop, still on the wall hop. Now Tonga has it, and I think Impulse is set. A little bit of shakiness and uncertainty in that opening few minutes, but it looks like they've kind of got it under control. Noplex tanking all the way down the far side, his runner trailing behind him, and that's Tonga with the ball for Impulse. Now Infection gets a little bit of a betrayal there against Gambit, and Tonga gets absolutely just destroyed as the ball goes streaking sky high and then shoots back down to earth like a comet or a rocket or a meteor? Meteorite, I think, is the one that streaks into earth. But anyway, there goes Noplex on the near side, and got 2 supporting tanks also near side. They've got all 3 tanks forward, looking to make a press across Notorious's plant. Noplex gets taken out, Infection steps up, takes his spots. Runner holding steady, keeping in tight with his tanks, looking for an avenue, but all of his tanks are destroyed, and he's forced to retreat just to half court because Noplex is there to step up. Runner takes advantage of a helpless tank, and now is just kind of holding out, kind of waiting, seeing which way the winds will blow. He does have a sword on his tail. His tank comes in, takes care of it, but he has to drop back to the spawn point to escape. So we have still on the far side, so Tonga, yep, running, and Infection's taking him and gets 1 clutch kill, and that is it. That is all Tonga needed, and that was Infection who was leading the way for that first plant. So it is Impulse who draw first blood. Notorious, I don't think, held the ball for more than 2 seconds that round, so if I was going to make suggestions on where to improve for the second round, that would be it. Touch the ball. More ball grabbing by Notorious is needed. So very kind of glitchy tip-off there, but it results in a pro run, and that is Kitanga who gets it. So Impulse strikes again and puts it up 2-0 over Notorious.
Ricochet.
Going into round 3, see if Notorious can find some traction. Opening tip-off.
New balls spawned.
And once again, Impulse comes away with the ball. There, of course, pass back, no pro run that time. But Impulse, that was Noplex who has it. Now he passes it off to Kid Tonga. 3-time runner of the year, or runner of the season, I guess. Kid Tonga. Noplex trying to help him out. Tonga smartly passes the ball back. It is picked up by Gambit, who's going to do a little fancy footwork and then pass it back to Kid Tonga. You got Noplex up top doing work. Gambit there too. Gambit needs to get one clean kill to get his runner in, and he does not get it. And Notorious shuts that down immediately. Epic bomb lunge by Tased. That was Tased with an amazing acrobatic feat of lungingness to take down Tonga. Somehow, Impulse managed to reclaim possession on the far side under heavy pressure. Notorious has them hewn in, and Impulse is forced to pass the ball back near side to a respawning infection. That sounds really terrible. A respawning infection sounds like something you get in a hospital that doesn't have enough antibiotics. But it is Notorious right now with possession. They've got 2 tanks forward. And again, just 1 or 2 swings away from being able to make a play at the plant, but the runner playing smart, playing conservative, drops back, is under pressure. Noplex manages to split the defense, goes in for the lunge, but it is AJ who is running, and it is AJ who puts his fist in Noplex's face, says, "Sit down, Grandpa, before you hurt yourself," and comes away with the stiff arm. Now on the far side, once again, it is Noplex trying to threaten the runner. Noplex takes out the defensive tank. He's on AJ's tail and is finally taken out by, I believe that was T-Rich. Yep, that was T-Rich who got the kill. AJ still holding the ball. Passes it off to... I can't see the tag, so I can't tell you who has the ball right now. But it is not T-Rich. I can tell you that much. It's not T-Rich. But anyway, dropping back, runner holding steady. He's got a pyramid of tanks in front of him. Impulse trying, doing a very good job. You can see that they are working in a concerted effort. All 4 are close, but not close enough to betray one another, but to support each other's tanking habit. And Infection is the last one to fall as the runner presses forward with a stiff arm. Notorious being held back on their spawn zone now, looking to get some momentum going forward. Again, the runner not afraid at all, engaging in some risky behavior, ends up in a turnover that was forced by Infection. Infection passes it back to Tonga. Tonga now on the far side, a little bit more of a conservative runner than Notorious. Impulse really not living up to their name. Their moves so far have been calculated, have been planned, and not very impulsive. Although getting into a spot right now, trapped in that far corner, they're going to have to do something. Well, how about just go ricochet off the wall by the enemy tank and have a run at the goal, running, jumping, wisely passing the ball back, overshot Infection, but that's okay because Gambit's right there to scoop it up. Gambit once again passes back to Tonga, and you just kind of wonder if having that dedicated runner is always the best thing, because they had forward momentum, but they lost some of it trying to get the ball back to Tonga. But Noplex has pitched a tent. Not just the wimpy tents that pop up, but the kind that you need to stake into the ground because you're going to be there a while. That's the kind of tent that Noplex just pitched, allowing his team, allowing Tonga to come in for the 3rd goal of the game.
New ball spawned.
All right, here we go into round 4. I think this game's a little bit more lopsided than we might have, than I certainly thought. I'll own up to my own predictions. And Impulse, again, almost with the pro run, but great stop by Notorious to rebuff those efforts. Infection with the ball, chucks it all the way back to his plant. And again, a lot of time spent chasing down the ball. Tonga scoops it up, is on the near side. He's got Infection with him, and the other two tanks closing on the far side. Shifting towards the center, and now all past half court, trying to capitalize on a unlucky Notorious respawn on the far side of the plant. Runner gets a clutch stiff arm and then gets swatted down. The ball is there, free, and Notorious is going to pick it up. Notorious now looking to make a move, because now's a good time to make that move. You don't want to go down 4-0. You don't really want to go down 3-0, but 4-0 is definitely at least 1 point worse than 4-0. And that is my math for the night. Don't, Cal Bulgarian, you stop applauding right now, mister. You are sleeping on the couch. Notorious now on the far side, switching in behind his tanks, trying to find some room to run, but it is getting kind of cramped back there. He's got 2 tanks pressing forward, trying to chase back Tonga and Infection. Noplex is stepping into the fray, and Noplex has been a beast for Impulse. Don't let his old man stature fool you. That guy... that guy can swing a hammer with the best of them. AJ passes the ball off to another member of Notorious, and now, once again, they are trying to move forward. We've got Infection trailing the runner. That was Silva with the ball. Chucks the ball back before he is overtaken. Notorious having a little bit of difficulty getting out of their own defensive half of the field. Impulse has done very well to contain them. Especially considering the start that Impulse had. It was kind of jittery, a little bit shaky, but they shored that up pretty quickly and have been nothing but solid ever since. Again, another pass from Notorious, under pressure and on the far side, trying to switch the field, spread the defense a little bit. Helps them get to halfway, but again, they're having some trouble. They're pushing on to the 3/4 part of the court. Runner gets in, gets a really important stiff arm. And now is looking so close, as the closest they have been all night. He has 2 tanks with him. Now 1 tank, now no tanks. And yes, no tanks, actually a relative of Go Tanks. A distant cousin.
He sucks, though.
Yeah, no tanks sucks. But Go Tanks is awesome. We love him. So once again, we've got the runner on the far side, Notorious holding the bomb, definitely trying to make the most of their possession because Impulse has been dominating the time of possession game so far. Noplex used Cane Strike. It's super effective. Yes. Thank you, Lightsaber. Runner's in a 2-on-1 situation. That was T-Rich who had the ball, passes it to the center, but it looks like, oh, it is... It was dangerously close to Gambit, but Notorious manages to maintain possession anyway, and now they are on the counterattack. 3 tanks forward, trying to find a zone, a lane for their runner to stroll through. And great job by T-Rich, who is just destroying in the plant, but it's just not enough. And as a tank, that is so frustrating when you feel like you are destroying the world. You are Thor himself with his hammer, and your runner apparently needs a written invitation to come join you. At least that's how it feels for me. I'm sure these teams are much better than my runner.
What?
What? Love you, sweetie. So right now we have Notorious with possession. Really slowing down the game, trying to play their game. That was T-Rich passes the ball off. T-Rich is on the far side tanking. He's leading the way for his runner. Goes in, gets a nice double. Good press here. A lot of real good momentum for Notorious. This is a really good time if they can maximize. They've got to put this in. There's no excuse. And there you go. That is Silva putting points on the board for Notorious. The captain putting his team in his backpack, so to speak, and urging them on to victory. And by victory, I mean a point. Because for some teams, getting 1 point is in fact a victory. Not gonna name names. But I will acronyms. Wham. Alright, so here we go. Round 5. Impulse going hard on that tip-off. Once again, going for the pro run. They get launched, almost flower style, off the center tip-off, but didn't quite work out for him. But good defense again by Notorious. You know, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice.
Can't fool the game.
Exactly. So, but it is Impulse with the ball, looking to increase their lead and be only 1 step away from victory. Passing the ball back, that is Kid Tonga who's going to pick it up. And there you go. He's got Infection and Noplex helping him out. Here comes Gambit from the center course, trying to trying to carve out an escape route, a much needed one as it turns out. And Tonga comes near side once again. Noplex and Infection leading the way, and Gambit kind of playing the flank or retreat tank. I don't think that's a word, but Infection takes a hammer like a pro for his runner. Every tank dreams of doing that for their runner, to take a hit so the runner may live. It's what we do. Not this though. The one in trouble, running right over the red halo, but again Impulse barely escapes there and is flushing out some more room on the far side. Infection trying to hold off the onslaught that the Notorious is throwing their way. Epic double kill. That is T-Rich on a killing spree, and he is showing no mercy and taking no quarter against Impulse. Runner is going to have to drop back across his plant again to just find any kind of help from his tanks. He's got Infection all the way at the top, drawing off the attention of two Notorious tanks, allowing Noplex to sneak in on the near side, but Notorious is hip to that strategy and reject Noplex ASAP. Toot sweet, even. Kid Tonga knows that he is doomed, checks the ball back. It is picked up by Gambit. Gambit once again passes the ball back to Tonga. Almost sounds like a soccer match going on. Or a game of footy for our friends across the pond, if there are any insane enough. And Infection is moving. Stop saying slanderous lies. And on the far side, Infection is trying to create a nice little walkway for his runner. And he does very well. Protects his runner, takes the sword like a pro. Runner comes back. That's a clutch second stiff arm he gets. Runner kind of having to become a little bit more of a tank, but he's in a 2-on-1 situation. He's going to go down, but not before he gets the ball off. Ball still free, in threat. Gambit overruns it and leaves the ball there for Tonga to pick back up. So Tonga passing back to himself. The ball is actually a potato, and so hath it been decreed by Razor, and so I shall henceforth refer to the ball as a potato. So... Alright, Tonga has the potato in hand. It is quite a hot potato. He passes the potato back. It was just too hot for him. And Infection picks up the potato. Going forward, he actually had a look at the plant, but decides to get rid of it anyway. And now he goes back to tanking for his runner, who is Tonga. Tonga gets bounced around its open goal, and Notorious is just not able to put the wall up in time. And that is 4 points for Kid Tonga, taking Impulse to 1 away from winning this game.
New balls spawned.
So it is now do or die, sudden death for Notorious. One more goal, and Impulse will walk away the victors from this match. A far cry from the very intense and 4-4 that we saw in the playoffs last year. Still totally possible. Absolutely, Notorious can come back full force and tie it all up. We've seen it happen. But it looks like they had some trouble getting the ball or some miscommunication. They finally have it now, but lost a lot of time on that. Luckily for Impulse, they were able to rebuff and refute the Notorious offense that was coming at him. Now Infection on the far side along with Noplex. Gambit trying to do some fancy distracting work up top, but Notorious isn't buying it. They are keeping their eye on him. They've dedicated one tank to kind of rover him instead, and not devote all their resources to trying to catch him. Gambit's still there, just kind of hanging out, and he's now there to protect Tonga. Tonga runs, jumps, pitches the ball back to Infection, who lets it roll, as does Gambit, and once again Kid Tonga passes to himself. He is such a team player with himself. It's wonderful. So it looks like he went on a bit of a charge there and then thought better of it just in time before he got hammer bounced back. Tonga with some happy feet. The last of his defense falls, and so he passes it to Gambit. Gambit now on top of his halo and stretching to the far side. He's got Infection in front and Tonga up top. Noplex got taken out in the center. Gambit's running, jumping, because when you jump, you are invincible. That is a fact. Gambit holding strong. His escape route's not looking too good right now. But he does. He smartly is able to get rid of the ball, passes it back to Tonga. And that's what I want to see. I want to see them try and keep that forward press that they had going. It seems like sometimes they're so concerned with getting Tonga the ball that they actually handicap themselves in that way. So Tonga now running, jumping once again, getting sorted and hammered and all sorts of obliterated on the opposite side of the court as he passes the bomb back. Ball, however, is not far from his grasp as he has it right now. Running, jumping, flying through the air. Will he could go? Oh, and he does. That is Kid Tonga getting a launch off of friend and foe alike. He does not discriminate, and it puts up the win for Impulse, who officially defeat Notorious 5-1. But as always, we will play till the end of the 9 rounds because that's the kind of soldiers we are.
New balls spawned.
Here comes the opening tip-off. Once again, Impulse just dauntless in their ability to win those tip-offs and, you know, going for the gusto with the pro run as much as possible. A lot of confidence now. Oh, but great stop by, I think that was Noplex on Tased for that goal stopping stop. I would say nobody better be bad-mouthing Halo 3 Griffball, otherwise we're going to have words. Words like, Halo 3 Griffball was awesome.
That's what I said.
Congratulations, Cal. Notorious looking to put some more points on the board, and they do, finding their way there. That is E-Taze sneaking one in, and it is 5-2 Impulse over Notorious.
I think we have some new people in the chat box, Goose.
Hello, new people in the chat box, and welcome to Wednesday Night Griff Brawl, brought to you by GriffBallHub.com, your home for all your griffing and balling needs. It's true.
What are they watching?
They are watching Wednesday Night Griff Brawl, Cal.
Balls spawned.
Oh, I get you now. This is the opening night for the AGLA Pro Circuit. That is basically the most competitive of the most competitive. The most competitive players in the most competitive league for Griff Ball. And this is the first match of the season, so opening day, as it were. And right now on the court, we have Impulse versus Notorious. Both of these teams were in the playoffs last season. Impulse going to the championship game before losing to Pro Run, and Impulse actually defeated Notorious in the semifinals of that same series. So we're seeing a little bit of repeat here with Impulse pulling a win out of Notorious. And but as always, Notorious did not give up. Cal, what are you doing? Sorry, thank you. So we stream every Wednesday night. Pre-game show usually starts around 9:30 or 9:45, and then the actual tip-off starts at 10-ish. And those times are Eastern. So Notorious does a little... Where was this Notorious? Where was the Major Silva doing the stutter step to punch maneuver that we just saw there? Would like to see more of that. Notorious, of course, could just be playing coy. It is only the first game of the season. There are many more games to play. So... hopefully these last few rounds will help them get their confidence back, and hopefully have a little bit of fun too, because really that's what it's all about. And winning, I guess. In the AGLA, it is about winning. But yes, if you are new in the chat box, welcome. We are happy to have you, and we hope that you stay tuned and join us for our next Wednesday night adventures. And you should push that shiny heart button on your screen in which you subscribe to us here at twitch.tv/GriffBallHub, and we will love you long time. And as always, if you will be in the Austin area for RTX, which is the 4th of July weekend, there will be a Griffball tournament there. I can confirm that there will be prizes. I can also almost confirm that there will be a cash prize. So if you think you are Griff enough to ball it up on LAN with the best that Griffball has to offer, pick up some RTX tickets. There's no registration, there's no fee. So you just gotta be there and sign up. So if you're tired of playing the matchmaking game, and oh, that was quite a pickup there by Notorious. Great grab out of the sky. And if you want to go up against teams like this, like Notorious and Impulse, RTX is going to be the best place, your best chance to actually get in on that action, because you can play against them and you'll get their autographs, which was kind of a surprise. At last RTX, we had the Hot Bikini guys there, and they had quite a few fans line up to have them sign autographs. And I know those guys were tickled by that. That was pretty cool. So just imagine the total internet fame and relatively low fortune that you could win by playing Griffball. So you can tell your mom or your dad that you could amount to something. You could amount to being the Griffball Hub RTX champion. And that is something that goes on a resume, let me tell you. So Notorious still has possession. AJ to Juice Main passes the ball off to the far side before he gets taken out. And the runner is just going to go, but Noplex just yoinks him straight out the air. And he's going to go, no, he's not going for the gusto. He's holding up, he's letting Tonga, of all people, tank him in. And that is Noplex running home the final point of the night. So your ultimate score for this evening is Impulse 6, Notorious 3, and that is how the first game this season goes down. And I am terrified to say that Cal is right, because Cal picked Impulse 6-3 over Notorious. Good job, Cal. You earned a cookie.
This is a new season.
That's right, where you no longer jinx the team that you cheer for, right?
Yep.
All right. All right, so let's take a look at the stats. Right here we have Gambit at 1235, Noplex at 1220, Tonka at 1055, Infection at 980, Etaze at 1380, Silva at 1360, T-Rich at 1190, and AJ at 875. So for goals, Tonga had 5 of the 6 for Impulse. Noplex picked up the 6th point there. Taze had 1, Silva had 2. Defensive stops, there was only 1 for Impulse, and that was committed by Gambit. And Notorious had 2 stops, 1 by Silva and 1 by AJ. There was 1 interception this game, and Noplex is the one who came away with that. Average life, that is quite the CAG right there. Gambit -20, Noplex -4, Tonga -13, Infection +12, Taze +1, Silva +16, T-Rich an equal goose egg, a 0, and AJ at -7. So KD-wise definitely skewed in favor of Notorious, but it was just not enough to overcome Impulse. And there were quite a few sprees there. The person with the longest spree actually was tied. Taze and AJ, they each had sprees of 8. And that's kind of amazing that they had sprees of 8 and they were only able to put 2 points on the board. But then again, maybe that's when those 2 points came. It's really, really hard to tell. So that is your game.
You know, if I had to name an MVP for that game, I'd say Noplex.
You think so?
It seemed like every time Impulse was going in for the score, every time they were tanking it in, Noplex was the tank getting the clutch kills along the way. And then he got a score in his own in the last round.
Yep, so great job by Impulse and tanking their way to, or rather dying their way to victory in a classic CAG fashion. Always a fun thing to see when, it's not all about the KD spread. But that is it for this edition of Wednesday Night Griff Brawl. Thank you everybody for coming out, supporting these amazing teams, supporting the best sport played within a first-person shooter of the future that you have ever seen. Check us out on RTX. Check us out on social media, on Twitter, on YouTube, on Facebook, on Tumblr, on Dogpile, on MySpace, wherever you can think of. We will hopefully be there. And as always, of course, there is griffballhub.com, the homepage. Hope to see you all there. If you want more information about Griffball, that is the place to go. So on behalf of myself, Goose Checka, and my trusty sidekick / streamer / graphics extraordinaire, Cal Bulgarian, I want to thank you all and hope that you have a wonderful evening. Play that outro clip.
Thanks for tuning in to Wednesday Night Griff Brawl. For more Griffball action, visit griffballhub.com for the latest in Griffball news, entertainment, and events.